Hello, my name is George Ross, and I am a student in the MSLT program at Kaiser University in Fort Lauderdale. And today's video is the week 1 debriefing, so I'll answer the following questions based on this week's debriefing. Number 1, share what you learned while completing this week's simulation. Now, this week's simulation was rather interesting, and it was a great start to the intro part of the simulated field work, and it discussed various ways to speak to parents versus speaking to children, which some of my classmates might not have experience in because they don't have any pediatric experience in, which was great because it's something that you don't think about, especially dealing with adult clients all day. How would you speak to a child or one that doesn't understand, or one that understands more than you think they know? Also, different components that are important to a sample chart, especially a pediatric sample chart or things of that nature. Also, observing a pediatric intervention with a child that seemed very severe, rather like a CP. Also, understanding safety procedures of an environment and breaking that down in depth was very interesting. Next question is, why is it important to share with the parent and guardian the purpose of activity? Actually, this one is a very good question because at times, from my experience, in my pediatric experience, which is an outpatient pediatric clinic, usually sometimes the child has all 3 disciplines, meaning OT, PT, and speech. And sometimes the person who receives the child speaks to the parent at the beginning, and the patient and the therapist who receives the child at the last hour turns them into the parent. So sometimes the therapist in between doesn't really get to interact with the client, with the parent. So it's very important for you to be able to get that communication whenever you can, because it lets them know what you're working on and how it helps, rather than just them assuming what you do and how you do it, because then where's the value in them thinking that they could do it on their own if they don't know what it really truly entails. Next, provide an example of what you would say to a caregiver, parent, guardian as to what occupational therapy is. Okay, so I would begin by saying, well, occupational therapy is a type of therapy that helps an individual, such as your child, participate in meaningful occupations. Now, what does that mean exactly? Now, that means how they participate in school, how they participate at home, how they engage, how they get dressed, how they eat, how they write, and things of that nature. And sometimes they might fall a little behind, and it's our job to help them catch up and work at the same age group that they're supposed to be in order to function correctly. Now, number 4. How would you answer the question? So occupational therapy is like PT, speech. If my child is doing PT, then she doesn't have to do OT, right? And now, this is a question that I've actually gotten before. And sometimes my favorite saying that I like to say is, well, in PT, they're learning how to walk and how their coordination works, right? But you still have to get dressed. You still have to, what's the point of learning to walk if you're not going to walk naked, right? You have to learn how to do other things, such as get dressed, brush your teeth, shower, or even writing. When they do physical therapy, they're not going to do any type of writing, or in speech, they're going to do all the speaking. But how about when they have to put pen to paper, and the things that require putting pen to paper, the coordination, the grasps, and things of that nature. And yes, physical therapy works on walking, but how about when they have to do something on the lower half of their body, like putting on their pants, going to the bathroom, tying their shoes? And you're not going to wait till they're 5 years old to get therapy because they can't tie their shoes, right? You want to address that at the best point possible, at the earliest point possible in their life. And that concludes today's video. Thank you very much.